Classic WoW in 2025, changes are coming. I feel like we know what's going on, but maybe we don't. Maybe Willie's gonna enlighten us somehow, somewhere, sometime, or something. Let's check it out.
In 2025 has more options than ever from a player perspective. From vanilla, seasonal servers, soon to be Mr. Pandaria, hardcore and more. It is all quite a lot. Today I thought I'd break down all of the options for Classic WoW, including what stage each version of the game is at, how populated each of them is, and what is expected to happen in the future for them. So if you want to catch up on Classic in 2025 and to know what your options are, this should give you all the information you need to know.
Okay, this is actually a great video. Look at this pause frame. I'm curious which Classic WoW has the most people. If I had to guess, it would be Anniversary on top. Below it would be Cataclysm, which will be MOP. And then below that would be SOD. And then below that would be like old era servers. Anniversary, Cata, SOD, era. That's my guess anyway.
We'll be beginning with what I think I have to call modern Classic nowadays, and this is Cataclysm, which will soon be advancing onwards to Mr. Pandaria. Cataclysm itself has been the biggest question mark for the game so far, as back in the day it was seen as though it was a less favoured expansion for many players, but despite this it's probably done a bit better than expected overall. Releasing May of 2024, Cataclysm is currently in its final phase, which is the Dragon Soul Raid, and it's been on this phase now for about 2 months. Population-wise, Cataclysm, somewhat amazingly, has remained the most popular version of World of Warcraft from a raiding perspective, settling around 110 to 120,000 active raiders weekly. This number is going to include a lot of people playing alts due to the ease of leveling and gearing, but at the end of the day, a raid happening is a raid happening, even if it's...
You're telling me there's more people playing Cata than Anniversary or SOD? Really?
The same people running it, and that overall means more chances for you to raid. Though with the Mr. Pandaria beta underway, a lot of raids tend to wind down their activities and take a break before the new expansion, so this number's gonna see quite a decline in the weeks to come, I think. You should also know there's currently no looking for raiding Cataclysm, despite it being released alongside Dragon Soul originally, and it's not as though Blizzard are taking a stance against looking for raid or want to remove it. It does appear as though they still intend to add this feature, they just haven't done it yet, and it's probably going to be coming with the expansion now. That being said, with Cataclysm on its final patch and the MOP beta underway, at this point I'll be looking towards getting into the next expansion rather than starting Cataclysm now. People always ask, is it too late to start a certain version of World of Warcraft, and this may be one of the rare times where actually, yes, it probably is a bit too late to get into Cataclysm, when realistically you should expect Mr. Pandaria to be out within about 3 months or so, maybe.
I agree. I hate saying that. Someone in the chat yesterday was like, hey Czar, should I, like, what version of Classic should I start playing? And I said that same thing. I'm like, well, like, if you're gonna play Cata, like, just wait for MOP. It's out in like a month and a half, because it's like, what are you gonna do in Cata for the next month? I mean, you could level, I suppose. You could make gold. You could level alts. You could make more gold, but like, you're really preparing for MOP in like a month and a half, right?
Be a little bit longer. I say this because we have some publicly known dates regarding Mr. Pandaria Classic's release as well. I guess illegally they have to display this information for pre-purchases or something, but on their page for Mr. Pandaria Classic updates it shows that Classic pre-patch launch anticipated on or before July 31st, 2025, and that Mr. Pandaria Classic launches on or before August 31st, 2025.
Soon, guys, soon.
Saying that a 2-month beta period into a 1-month pre-patch is quite standard, so I bet we'll be in Pandaria somewhere between late July to early August. Mr. Pandaria itself is generally a more positively remembered expansion than Cataclysm, so we'll see how it will do. That being said, I do get the impression that the widespread interest from continuing these classic expansions is starting to wane in a noticeable way. I mean, we've already drifted a long way from that original trilogy of Vanilla, TBC and Wrath, but Cataclysm was also quite distant from that as well. well. I think with today's circumstances that actually Mr. Pandaria Remix was enough Mr. Pandaria for a decent amount of people who would have otherwise considered coming back to this version of the game, but were happy enough with the experience that they were given. Maybe Blizzard has unexpectedly shot themselves in the foot a bit here. If Mist does end up being less popular than Kata, I would have to attribute it to Remix in part. And by the way, in the future I expect them to do Legion Remix as well, which potentially doesn't bode well for Legion Classic if we end up getting there. And looking more long term to how far these Classic expansions will go, the easy and simple...
Do you guys agree with Willie here? Do you think playing MoP Remix cannibalizes the interest for Classic MoP? I'm not sure I do. Yes, no, no, yes. Because for me, I feel like they're so different. One, you're playing retail essentially. MoP Remix is just retail, and you're basically just doing the old raids on retail. Classic MoP is you're playing MoP. They're just completely different things. I feel like one wouldn't kill the interest for the other. In fact, I would maybe argue that they're synergistic. So like MoP Remix would maybe make more people excited to play Classic MoP rather than less. I would say it's synergistic more than cannibalistic, but maybe I'm wrong.
Answer is as far as people ask for. All the same, I can't see Modern Classic going further than Legion, but at this point in time, we've got Kata, we're getting Mr. Pandaria, really, who knows? Either way, that's Modern Classic. Cataclysm's winding down now, Mr. Pandaria probably out in about 3 months or so between the beta and the pre-patch, and I'd also expect Joyous Journeys to be re-enabled on Cataclysm realms fairly soon, so you can get some extra experience and catch up if you need to, though as of doing this video, it's not yet. One last thing, you should expect Monk to be available in pre-patch when that drops. Blizzard hasn't confirmed it yet, but things such as Draenei and Blood Elves are available in TBC pre-patch, Death Knights in Wrath pre-patch, and so on. Overall though, that is where Modern Classic is up to right now. Before we go on, a quick word from today's spot.
What a funny thing to say, Modern Classic. That's where Modern Classic is right now. Like, nice.
Sponsor Boot.dev. Boot.dev aims to give you the tools to get fully on board with the Python, Go, and SQL programming languages in order to forge a career in back-end web development. It keeps things more interactive than regular online courses by treating this process as though it is a proper RPG with experience, leaderboards, achievements, and more. It's just that bit extra to keep you interested and motivated to progress. Speaking of progress, Boot.dev believe in hands-on learning, and one of the key things they want to get you doing is writing tons of your own code so that you can really get an understanding of each point before moving on. And if you do get stuck, there's always plenty of help too, such as Boots the AI Bear, who will help via asking you questions to help you understand, rather than just instantly handing you the answers. Personally, as someone who spent hours Googling stuff to try and learn things for editing or making videos, having this kind of resource to hand would have been so useful. And even if you want to just check out Boot.dev before committing fully, it really is risk-free, because all the content is free to read and watch in guest mode. And there is a 30 days no questions asked refund policy, as well as a free demo of every course and its interactive features. So why not check them out? You can go to boot.dev and try their courses for free, and then use my code WILLIE to get 25% off your entire first year.
Can I code? No, I can't code. I mean, I went to college for business CIS. We took like 2 coding classes. We learned some SQL and we learned some, what was it? C#, I think. C# and SQL, like basically like just some like database stuff, but no. But I don't know, that looks pretty cool.
You choose the annual plan. Many thanks to Boot.dev for the sponsor today. Let's get back to WoW. Next talking point is going to be World of Warcraft's seasonal server, Season of Discovery, which funnily enough right now is at the point where it's run longer than any other version of Classic so far since its release in November 2023. Okay, Classic Era has been going longer, but Classic Era doesn't get updates. Season of Discovery is currently in Phase 8, featuring a lot of new content in the vanilla world, running up to Phase 6.
Did you guys know that this is the longest running version of Classic to date? November 2023, and now it's May 2025. Wow, that's an interesting like tidbit there. Do I like sushi? I love sushi. Yeah, it's great.
6, it was a lot of the standard endgame content, with Phase 6, as it usually is, being Naxxramas. Then Phase 7 brought along a Karazhan dungeon, as well as a bunch of other updates, and Phase 8 has brought along the Scarlet Enclave raid. This is a brand new Scarlet Crusade theme raid, available for between 20 and 40 players, with a difficulty level is really dependent on how many bodies you can bring each week. So far it's proven to be a very challenging raid, and I know that doesn't happen often for Classic, but if you're going in there with 20 players, not many people have done this. That being said, Blizzard have already applied several nerfs to the raid, and they will be also enabling an ICC type player buff where each week players will get stronger. So as time goes on, this is going to get more accessible for more people. Season of Discovery itself has seen significant changes to all classes from vanilla and receives regular balance patches. It's fast to level up with an experience buff, and it's not so much about the leveling content as vanilla typically is, and it's more about playing with all the new stuff at endgame, mix and matching tier sets, and just having fun. You can get all the runes now for 1 copper in your starting zone, and you don't need to go searching for them, so that's not a barrier to entry anymore, and the raiding population has been stable for some time now at around
Okay, so there's like 70,000 people a week on SOD. Compare that to 100K on Cata. So that's about what I thought. But then I would think Anniversary would be on top. So when he gets to Anniversary, hopefully next, we'll see. But I thought it would be Anniversary, Cata, and then SOD, and then Era. But
70,000 active raiders. A big drop off from where it started off at its beginning, but that's very much expected, and ideally you do want to see stable numbers so you know that the game has a fan base who are going to stick with it. And I wouldn't say it's too late to start if you're interested in trying Season of Discovery either. Blizzard have talked about the future of these servers too, but they're not giving us their plans in full. What we do know is that Blizzard have mentioned several times that Season of Discovery realms will be around for a long time to come. Many have taken this to mean some kind of error realm where Season of Discovery characters will persist when the servers stop receiving updates, or perhaps it will just be that updates will slow down and they'll do the occasional class balancing rather than focusing on new content as well. And as for when Season of Discovery will begin to wind down, we're still not sure about that either. On their original Phase 8 blue post, they said that Season of Discovery culminates with Phase 8. Culminate, of course, meaning end, but they've gone back and edited their blue post to remove the word culminates to once again leave the fate of Season of Discovery as being open-ended. Blizzard have mentioned why they're being like this with Season of Discovery 2, where they don't want to expressly confirm things a long time in advance unless they can guarantee it. As they are a smaller development team, they're able to pivot to different projects or points of interest at a much faster pace than they would typically be able to with a larger team. As such, some things have happened in Season of Discovery as a bit of a surprise. The Demonfall Canyon dungeon came out of nowhere really, and as far as I know was made by one person, but that could have just been me hearing that. And the new raid, the Scarlet Enclave, was first data mined as being a 5-player dungeon, but instead it's a raid, so perhaps its direction shifted as time went on. Still, MMO
Demonfall Canyon to me was a flop. I don't think it was great. Scarlet Enclave to me was a home run. I was expecting Demonfall Canyon V2, and it was an entire huge, beautiful raid with complex encounters. It was like, wow, what? Karazhan, another home run, same thing. I was expecting Demonfall Canyon, and Karazhan, beautiful experience as well. So I don't know what happened with SOD, but at some point they just started making great decisions, because in Phase 3, it kind of sucked, let's be honest. Most people quit. We had invasions, it sucked. And then Phase 4, 5, 6, it was just kind of dull for a while. And then at some point, like, Karazhan came out, and it's like Scarlet Enclave, and it's like, oh my gosh, now I'm the biggest SOD fan. Having said all that, guys, there is no way they're doing a Phase 9. There's no way they're doing a Phase 9. You guys really think there's gonna be a Phase 9? Bro, if there's a Phase 9, I am all for it, man. I would love to play a Phase 9, but there's no way, dude. There's no way. There's no way.
Those are typically games which go on, and seasonal to me still implies that there's going to be an end date. In fact, Season of Mastery, Classic's first seasonal server, has been the only version of WoW to end ever. So I understand them wanting to keep their options open, but at the same time, from a player perspective...
Wait, Season of Mastery ended? Like, your characters were deleted? Like, wait, did anyone here play SOM? SOM? Are your characters on SOM just gone? Yes? Oh, they got pushed to Era. Okay, so they weren't deleted. They got transferred to Era. Okay, that makes sense. Got it.
The uncertainty can also be a bit off-putting. Overall, I'd just give Season of Discovery a try if you are interested. Blizzard intend to keep it around for a good while to come. There's a ton of content to get through as a fresh character. More or less
SOD,
everything is viable at endgame. And hey, there might be more phases to come. Or not. What's that saying? I guess if you expect nothing, you can't be disappointed, right? Okay, next up we have Anniversary Realms. These are a fresh set of your standard vanilla realms that release for late November 2020. They do include a few quality of life updates, such as an LFG tool to make finding groups easier. This doesn't teleport you to dungeons, by the way. It has dual spec that costs 50 gold at level 40, and an updated ranking system where you only need to earn a certain amount of honor per week to advance, and there's no decay. Other than that, it is your usual vanilla experience. Anniversary Realms are currently on Phase 4 as of May 1st. This means that Onyxia, Molten Core, Blackwing Lair, all world bosses, and Zul'Gurub are available for raiding. You can work towards your tier 0.5 set, and you can rank up to 14. As per expected with a standard classic release schedule, there will be 2 phases left after this, which will be AQ in Phase 5 and Naxxramas in Phase 6. These realms have also been confirmed to progress to the Burning Crusade at the end of vanilla. As per the roadmap released in 2024, this should happen between winter 2025 to spring 2026. I'd guess CG will be a bit of a shorter patch, as it's really just a bit of catch-up gear, and that Blizzard will also aim to get through AQ faster than normal, as every vanilla realm that I've ever seen experiences a player drop-off in AQ. I'd expect TBC somewhere around December to January over.
Bro, AQ, I swear, is my least favorite raiding classic. Every time it comes out, everyone quits. Like, you're just in this bug-infused zone, and there's stuff flying everywhere, and the trash is hard, and everyone's dying and yelling at each other, and there's loot drama. It's just like...
but this is still to be confirmed. Player-wise on Anniversary Realms, as per usual, vanilla always peaks with the launch of BWL and then has a drop-off in AQ before seeing a bit of a return in Naxxramas.
Okay, so Anniversary has very similar population to Cata. So it's like Anniversary and Cata are like very, very similar. Cata's like a little higher, which surprises me. It's like Cata, Anniversary, and then SOD. And SOD is still a good percentage of this, like 70% of this or more.
Being said, there's definitely a healthy raiding population for both Horde and Alliance and Anniversary Realms, with over 90,000 active players on a weekly basis. And with TBC coming around the new year, you've got plenty of time left on these realms too, and if you intend to play TBC, you're going to need a character that's at least level 58 to get across the Dark Portal. Unless they end up selling boosts again, which, I mean, they did the first time around in TBC Classic, so who knows really.
I mean, they for sure will, right? I mean, okay, one, they're gonna make a lot of money, so doing it. So why, like, of course, it's Blizzard. They're for sure doing boosts. Two, yeah, they did it the first time because not everyone wanted to play Classic, but a lot of people wanted to play TBC, kind of like myself. So like, they're for sure doing boosts, right? There's no way.
We also don't know for sure yet what will happen to characters at the end of vanilla on the Anniversary Realms. The choices being whether they have to progress onto TBC, can transfer to Era, or if there will be an option to copy your character to both, paid or otherwise.
It'll probably be, if I had to guess, it'd probably be they move forward to TBC and you could pay extra to copy it to Era. And then the anti-server's gone. I think that's what they would do, but I could be wrong.
I would expect you'll be able to move to Era one way or another at the end of vanilla on Anniversary. It just sounds crazy to me, the idea of forcing everyone to TBC. Still, Anniversary Realms are predictable, they have a direction, you know what you're going to be getting and roughly when it's going to be happening as well. So if you want that original vanilla experience rolling into TBC later on down the year, then it would absolutely be the place to be. For vanilla specifically, there is also Classic Era. These are just realms which have existed since Classic migrated to TBC for the first time in 20.
Bro, they need to squish all these realms. I know they're already linked, kinda, right? They're like linked, but this is ridiculous, bro. Like if you log in right now to the game and you go to Era, the amount of server, like this is, it's just ridiculous. They're all dead. Like they're all like linked, but like Anniversary is great. This is perfect. You have 4 realms, all 4 are popping, right? And maybe not the Australian realm, but these 3 are popping. Pick one, play, you'll have fun. And this is hardcore. So if you discount hardcore in the Australian realm, you have Night Slayer and Dream Scythe, and they're both popping. It's like great. And then Sod is similar, where it's pretty good. You have 2 Australian realms. You have one RP realm. You have 4 PvP realms and 2 normal. Even Sod, like I like Anniversary, like 4 realm options. I think that's great. Why? Because long term, all the realms are healthy. It feels good because there's just a couple realms that everyone plays on, and you can find people. This is ridiculous at this point. I think what it comes down to with the squish is the names. People have the same name on both realms, so it's like who keeps the name? I think that's the problem they're running into. Because originally with all these different realms in 2019, people had all these names. So it's like if you squish it, then you kind of screw the names. I think that's the problem, but still, man, I would love to see Classic Era to 4 realms like Anniversary, or maybe to like 8 like Sod, but like, yeah, I think that would just own for the long term.
2021, and this is going to be a pretty short mention to what they are and what you should expect there. These are like museum vanilla realms where they've existed in a static...
I gotta pause again. Someone in the chat brings up a good point. Said, there are no Oceanic servers that are healthy. All of us Oceanic players have rerolled to the US servers now. Is that true? All of us Aussies play the American realm? Okay, if that's true, if Aussies end up just playing the American realm anyway... This might be a hot take. They should just get rid of the Australian realms then. If that's true, there's no reason to keep dead Australian realms if all the Aussies play on US. Hot take, but it's just not worth it then. It's just not worth it.
State since they were created, with a bunch of copied characters, new players, and all content available. You should also know these realms will not progress to TBC, and they are just purely vanilla forever. Era has maintained a solid player base since about midway through Wrath Classic, and whilst it saw a drop off with Anniversary realms, it's once again now growing. And should Blizzard offer a way to migrate to these servers at the end of the current vanilla cycle, they will grow once again. I'd probably still start on Anniversary realms rather than Era if you want the vanilla experience, both for the quality of life there and the larger player base, but this is also another option for the vanilla enthusiast. A quick mention to hardcore realms too now. These exist both under the Classic Era tab of the game as well as Anniversary. The only difference is that the Anniversary ones came out more recently. Hardcore is a game mode that tends to undergo big surges of popularity, often being tied to community or streamer events, and then it goes a bit quiet again. Right now it's in a quiet phase. All the same, hardcore is a version of WoW where you have one life, so starter zones and leveling in general is always pretty active compared to the size of the player base. Also, there are people who pretty much just only play hardcore, so it's a smaller but more dedicated player base, and if you've ever wanted to try it out, it's always as good a time as ever to give it a go. And finally, we can't have a state of the game video without a mention to Classic Plus, perhaps one day in the future. As we are at the moment, we know that for Blizzard, Season of Discovery is more or less a live testing environment to see what works and what doesn't in a classic setting. They've also started doing some properly ambitious stuff on Season of Discovery 2, including the new raid, the Scarlet Enclave, which is very much the exact kind of content I would expect to see in a proper Classic Plus release. And the uncertainty with the future of seasonal servers means they can continue testing for, well, as long as they want to, really. We do know that BlizzCon is set to return in 2026, and I think that's the point where Season of Discovery has met some kind of ending point, and that a proper Classic Plus will be announced. But that's not going to take place until September 2026. So until then, those are your options for Classic WoW, how each version of the game is doing, and what you should expect to happen to each one in the future. Thank you once again to boot.dev for supporting the channel. The courses are free to view, so if you're interested in them, why not check them out via the links down below. Let me know which version of Classic you're currently playing, whether you're taking a break or you're just waiting for something to release in the future in the comments down below. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening in, and I'll see you on the next one very soon.
Okay, that was a great vid. I mean, it wasn't like huge, like changes are coming, like different stuff, but it's like, this is the current state of Classic. This is how many people are playing, and this is what maybe like what you should play, which is like what so many people are wondering, right? TLDR, Kata's actually on top of Classic. Anniversary is right under it, and Sod is kind of like right under that. I'm actually a bit surprised he didn't go into era numbers. So if we just bring up like a notepad here. I think it was 100k weekly raiders for Kata, and then it was like 90k per week for Annie Anniversary, and then it was like 70k a week for Sod. These numbers are closer than I thought. My estimate was like, in my head it was like 120k for Annie, and then I was thinking it would be like 40k for Kata, like much bigger gaps, and then like 45k for Sod or something. I thought these were gonna be the numbers, something like this, but they're all actually like fairly close, which is cool, man, which is really cool, which is good. People are enjoying it in different ways.